Have you ever been challenged to do something you are an expert at without them knowing? Story 1. Not exactly an expert, but I am bilingual. I come from the US but moved to Poland when I was about 6 years old. Am now 23. However, I don't have an unusual accent in either language. I sound like a normal American when I speak English, and I sound like a normal Pole when I speak Polish. I've had multiple situations where I've corrected someone's English. They challenged me and then realized I am a native speaker. Oops. Also funny to hear people talking about me in the other language. English speakers when I'm in Poland, Polish speakers in the UK or US. Often being rude, assuming I don't understand. Just a simple, "Is that so?" or some small phrase and people go all red. Story 2. Not exactly on topic because they know it, but I am really fast at doing math in my head. Adding, subtracting, multiplication, and division. My kids like to play that versus the calculator. They give me an equation and I can usually give them the answer without using paper and pencil before they can get the answer using a calculator. Story 3. I was pretty good at Gears of War. Gears of War 2 came out and a kid at school was having a tourney at his house the weekend after the game released, and my buddy invited me over. The kid was talking so much crap the whole time, but mostly to me. Guess he didn't like me. I finally had enough and said the typical, "1v1 me, bro," and we get to it. Execution mode on River, my best map. I was asked to leave his house by his dad after I won, because I made his 16-year-old rage and put a hole into their wall. Edit. Holy. I sleep, go to work and come back to see this thread and my comment blew the F up. Story 4. In the Marine Corps, they do a lot of wrestling and grappling as training and exercise. Well, for a Marine, I was a pretty unimposing looking person. Little did they know that I had been doing jiu-jitsu, a form of grappling, for about 4 or 5 years before joining. So more than a few times I would have these big weightlifter, meathead types challenge me to grapple only for me to wipe the floor with them. It kind of became a joke once people caught on, and when we would get new guys to the unit, the guys in the know would trick them into grappling against me. Story 5. I had an athletic scholarship in college. I swam. But after college I went to graduate school, biochemistry, and proceeded to lose the swimmer physique. However, I didn't lose the technique. So, the wife and in-laws and I were at a resort in Puerto Rico one day and I swam across the pool to meet them. And some guys started talking up their friend to go challenge me to a race. The dude came over, he was ripped, all eye candy, and challenged me to a race across the pool and back, and the loser had to buy the other group a round of drinks. There were about 8 of them, and 4 of us. It was about 30 yards or so nearly a 50 meters freestyle, and I was a sprinter. In college I had a high 23 seconds, timing the event, so I agree and watch him swim and touch the other side. That's when I do a kick flip turn and then burst out beast mode on the return. I hit the wall when he was a little over halfway back. Needless to say, he bought us all a round of beers, and we actually ended up seeing them several times over the next week. He was a really cool dude, but was obviously really embarrassed. Now that I think about it, I hope either he or one of his friends is a Redditor and see this. Story 6. Somebody challenged me to play a round of Age of Empires 2, medieval strategy computer game, against him. I used to play that game on a competitive level, so I just proceeded to play at roughly the same snail's pace speed he did, sometimes attacking him with a weak army to make it look like I was struggling to beat him, while in reality 90% of my troops were tucked away hidden in the back of my lance. It was a closed-off arena map that made it really easy to hide them from him, so I continued to act like I'm struggling and slowly start to give in to his siege attacks, making it look like he's actually going to win the game. At one point he asks in a victoriously smug voice, "So, Looks like the game is over, right? To which I replied, looks like it. Before he could say anything else, roughly 100 fully upgraded Elite Teutonic Knights emerged from my side of the fog war and proceeded to annihilate everything in their path. His reaction was priceless. It went from complete disbelief, where are all those units from, to denial, you cheating a-hole, and various other emotions, while I just had a hearty laugh. Story 7. I was 30 years old. Around 4 or 5 years ago, I went to a family house party of my girlfriend where a bunch of her teenage cousins were playing rock band. It was kinda, if you fail the song, you have to give the controller to the next person situation. This one kid kept being mean to the other kids because he played on hard, so he had the highest scores and never passed the guitar around. He was annoying and didn't let other kids play, making others feel bad because they played on easy or medium. Anyway, at some point he said that he could beat anyone at the party. One of the younger kids said, I bet Badling could beat you. I played with him once when my girlfriend was babysitting him, so the annoying teen started mouthing off, and they called me over. I was sitting with the adults and faked ignorance. Oh yeah, I heard about this game. Guitar band, right? So we had a plastic guitar rock-off. If I won, he would let the younger kids have the console for the rest of the evening. The best score would win. Same song, of course. He selected AC/DC Thunderstruck on hard, and on my turn I changed the difficulty to expert. And he said, I think you made a mistake. And I said, no, I didn't. Then proceeded to surpass him in score and percentage-wise. I became a rock god for a bunch of 12-year-olds that day. Story 8. Not an expert, but I was invited to a Christmas party last year. They had a dessert competition. Not very many people knew I was going to college for culinary arts. Won unanimously. He told me that he wanted a rematch next Christmas. I'm taking my baking class this semester. Good luck, mister. Story 9. I was at the gym at work and there's a fit-looking older guy running on the treadmill. There is also another guy there wandering around, not really working out but trying to talk to everyone and offer advice. What is it with guys thinking girls need help in the gym? Just being a pest in general. He wanders over to the guy running and starts asking him what he's training for. The running guy answers, ultra marathon in a few weeks. The annoying guy is impressed, but jokingly says, will you win? Running guy, probably. Annoying guy, oh yeah, you've always got to be positive, right? Running guy, well, I've won it for the last 3 years, and the closest person to me was 50 minutes behind me, so yeah, I'm pretty positive. I checked out his name on the sign-in register and went back to my desk to Google him. Yup. Multiple records of ultramarathons, 24-hour road and treadmill races, 48 hours treadmill races. Story 10. The owner of the restaurant I work at brings in this gimmicky as seen on TV vegetable dicer, the kind where you still have to use a knife to get the food small enough to dice. I laughed at him as he tried to tell me how much time it was going to save us in the kitchen. He challenges me. 3 onions, small dice. Winner gets a case of beer. I've been cooking professionally for close to 2 decades. So long story short, that was some good beer. Story 11. I sort of did that. I was jokingly challenging my philosophy teacher with a 1-meter ruler, sort of like a sword. He grabbed a pointer and completely disarmed me. Apparently, when he was at Oxford, he had done fencing, and for quite a while after that. Story 12. I bought a house and had a guy offer us a $20 gift card to give us an in-home demonstration of water filtration technology. He came in and sat up and started his spiel. He asked me what I do for a living, and I replied that I am a chemist at a water treatment plant. He stopped for a second and said, you probably know more about this stuff than I do. He then asked to talk to my wife, who refused. He packed up and left without continuing the demo. Never got my $20 gift card. Story 13. At a barbecue last summer, my friend's nieces, kind of bratty little things, were playing on the trampoline. They were doing front flips and things. They challenged me to do what they were doing. Little did they know that I had 15 years of gymnastics and 6 years of trampolining history. I launched in with a straight double back somersault that simultaneously impressed them and reminded me of the value of a good warm-up. Story 14. Not me, but I remember a story of a kid whose dad was remodeling their garage, and he was going over the drawings with the inspector who had a chip on his shoulder and was saying that the designs wouldn't work. The dad disagreed, saying that it would be going back and forth. The dad then asks if he would approve it if he had a professional engineer sign off on it. The inspector agrees, and the dad goes inside and gets his professional engineer stamp and stamps the drawing. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell button to receive notifications to my latest videos.